Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good tonight. We're going to be hanging out for a little while. I have quite a few topics to discuss that I've been really interested in talking about. A couple of them are new, hilarious, but new. Some of them are updates to situations that I've talked about. The first topic is an update on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. I've definitely covered the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation in depth. I've talked about the many lawsuits they're embroiled in, the controversies between Johnny Depp, the things he's said and done, Amber Heard, the way that she's acted during the lawsuits, and just kind of the way she's acted in general, the way she's acted towards fans. So there's a new update that Depp's lawyer calls Hail Mary as Amber Heard tries to get lawsuit dismissed. This is something that Amber Heard would love to see happen. She would love to see the lawsuit be completely dismissed, be washed away, there be no more controversy around her name. But unfortunately for her, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that she is in for a long battle. We're going to be talking about MGM being purchased because Amazon is buying MGM for $8.45 billion. This is a ton of money, ton of cash. This is a high caliber purchase, but surprisingly, I don't think this is gonna turn out the way that everyone thinks it's going to, because this is obviously a very expensive purchase. We're talking about Amazon, MGM, but I don't think this is going to be a death blow to anyone. I do not think that this is going to be as massive as a lot of people think, besides, of course, for James Bond. I think that is the number one concern everyone has right now. What does this mean for James Bond? So we're going to be discussing that. We're going to be talking about game journalists. I love to talk about game journalists, guys. Game journalists are hilarious for so many reasons. We're going to be talking about how game journalists are overreacting to a satirical article posted online, because the article took a jab at mainstream video games, press, journalism, kind of dunking on journalists. But now, of course, the very journalists that this article was making fun of are actually furious over this joke, saying it's not the right time to be joking about our profession. We're already in the bad with people. People already don't like us. Don't you realize how much anger this is going to cause? How much more people are going to be upset with us? Which I think is hilarious. So we're going to be discussing this article in this situation, and we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. Now, I love my Nintendo Switch. I do really genuinely think it's a great console. I've enjoyed it thoroughly since it released. But apparently, Nintendo has some big plans, which isn't surprising, but what is surprising is the timeline, because apparently the Nintendo Switch Pro could be announced before E3. There are multiple reports coming out about the Nintendo Switch Pro. Apparently it's going to be a 4K ready system. It's going to have a new screen. It's going to be announced before E3, and there was a insider leaking. Apparently, keep in mind this is all supposed leaked information, rumors, that this week the Switch Pro is going to be revealed. And we will be getting more information about it at E3. And, wow. That's all I have to say. I don't want to spoil my thoughts on it, because there's definitely a lot to go through with the Nintendo Switch Pro situation. But, this might be real, guys. It's pretty obvious that Nintendo would want to upgrade their Switch model. They would want to release a Pro. We have the base Nintendo Switch, the Switch Lite. Of course, the direction they'd want to go in is the Switch Pro. But to hear that it is supposedly going to be revealed this week, or at least before E3, which E3 is in 2.5 weeks, is a little surprising. There's a lot of information here. It's definitely not something I can sum up in 30 words or less. But, we'll see. I definitely have some concerns. Is this really the time to release a Switch Pro? which it's the rumor is that it's going to be called the Super Nintendo Switch Pro. Don't know how to feel about that name, if it's real, of course. No confirmations here. No inside information. E3 is still in June. Yes. They are doing a digital E3 this year. They're not, like, doing anything in person, apparently. It's just gonna be all, like, basically, the groups are just gonna be coming up with their own, like, trailers and stuff. But they are still doing E3 this year. It's gonna be June 12th to the 15th. Yes. 12th to the 15th. That's it, alright. But those are the topics that we're going to be discussing. But welcome, everyone. I hope that your night's going well. We'll get started in a minute or two. It's definitely a night filled with some interesting information. Nintendo needs to do something to prevent scalpers from stealing all the Switch Pros with their bots. Well, yeah, that's definitely part of the conversation that more people need to be talking about. A lot of people with this news have been excited that maybe a Switch Pro is going to be releasing in the next few months. We're finally going to get trailers for it, information about it, but a lot of people are, rightfully so, really concerned just because of the amount of systems that are having problems right now. I mean, let's look at it. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo as well has been having problems. I mean, Nvidia. So it's going to be interesting to see the reaction if it genuinely does get announced or revealed, I guess I should say, on Thursday. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not saying it's true, guys. I mean, look at the facts. For upwards of a year now, we've been getting supposedly leaked and rumored information about the Switch Pro. There have been so many rumors surrounding the Switch Pro over the past year that, oh my gosh, it's going to be announced on this day, it's going to be announced this month, it's going to be releasing on this date. And so far, all of that has fallen through. Clearly, we can all come to the conclusion that they are working on an upgraded model, a Switch Pro type of model. But when it will be released and what it will entail are the big questions that everyone's been asking. The Super Nintendo's, yep, that is the rumored name. That is not confirmed at all. A lot of people have been saying maybe that'll be the name, but the Super Nintendo Switch, you know, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not, if that's the name, I'm really not that into the name at all. The Super Nintendo Switch. Okay, we get it, Nintendo. We get it. Little too much for me.
Oronx donated $52.
Thank you, Oron, for the $52 donation. Well, thank you. Much appreciated. Amber Heard needs to fall off the edge of the world already. Well, I mean, is there an edge of the world? That's another question we should probably ask. The Earth is flat, guys. Don't forget it. You heard it here first. Yeah, scalping is buying something rare in the store, reselling it for 10 times that amount. That sounds like a scam. I can't believe people would do that. Oh, people do that. Yeah. Scalping is a real legitimate thing. It is. Like consoles that are being sold, right? Like, look at the graphics cards. Oh my gosh. Graphics cards, they release, you know, MSRP $1,500. People are reselling them $3,000. Look at the consoles, like PlayStation 5 releases for $500. People reselling them $900 because no one can get their hands on them in store. It's a very real thing. Super Nintendo Switch, SNESSW. It's fucking A. SNESSW. I can't even say it that fast. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if that's gonna be a legitimate name for it, I suppose that's what the abbreviation would be. I can't take some of the abbreviations that companies make, though. Like, I hate it. Okay, so we'll get into the topics in just a minute, but with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, that's the problem, is that I call it the PS5 instead of PlayStation 5, that's the abbreviation, but the Xbox Series X, I don't genuinely want to go around saying, hey, do you have the Xbox Sex? So it's like the Xbox Series X. There's no good abbreviation for it, no matter which way you slice the cake. Or the Xbox SES. Like, there's... Come on, companies, do better, okay? Abbreviations matter. It is flat. Research dome perspective and you'll understand. True. The 3090s are 3500 to 3800 on eBay. Yeah, it's absolutely nutso. Just call it the Super Switch. That's probably what people would call it, as the Super Switch, but, you know, SNE, SSW. Come on. Do better, companies. I see what you did there, Nintendo, but no, I agree. I could see where they'd be going with it, but that doesn't mean that I like it or agree with it. I gotta admit, I have an unopened Pikachu DS. I'm waiting for it to go up in value. What is it worth? That's my first question. The store near me calls it... Yes, but even that's confusing. The XSX. That's such a tongue twister. The XSX. The XSX. XSX. It's like XXX. See, I can't even fucking say it. SSX tricky. Even that one's a tongue twister. SSX is better than XSX. Holy shit. I think I just lost a brain cell. I don't have that many left. But still, I think I just lost another. Guys, you're making me feel bad that I can't get my 3090. Believe me, I feel the struggle, okay? These fucking 3090s are so hard to find. And if you can find them, they are so expensive. This week, though, Nvidia's doing an announcement event. So maybe they're announcing the DIs of everything. You guys are laughing at me. XSX. I'd rather just call it the Xbox Sex. But, oh, if we say that, oh, you're a toxic gamer. What are you, objectifying women? What are you, making, you know, female gamers feel uncomfortable? If I was a guy and I just said that, I'd already be canceled. Like, I understand companies are trying to come up with cool, unique names for things. There's a point where you have to sit back and say, just stop. Get some help. Think of the gamers. Think of what you're going to be walking into the office saying. Alright, guys, so let's get started on the first topic of the evening, which is going to be Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I guess we'll start with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Now, I've covered the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation very extensively here on the channel. I've talked about him losing lawsuits. He lost his lawsuit against The Sun. We've heard about, you know, Amber Heard lying under oath. We've heard about her supposedly bribing former employees to basically put in a good word for her in court. Her own sister apparently lied for her. We've heard a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation when it comes to the Depp and Amber Heard situation. I personally think that, while it sounds like both of them weren't perfect people in their relationship and they both contributed to their marriage ending and issues they had during the marriage, it definitely sounds like Amber Heard did a lot of really terrible things to Johnny Depp. And of course, she basically got him canceled. She got him removed off of all of the projects that he was working on. Basically, no one will hire him. I know that he has another movie coming out like next year, I think it is, which is like one of his first bigger projects. But a lot of companies dropped him and won't work with him anymore. But now there is a bit of an update because Depp's lawyer calls Hail Mary as Amber Heard tries to get lawsuit dismissed again. Amber Heard would love for this to happen. She would absolutely love to see every lawsuit against her be dismissed. She would love for everyone to just forget the situation at hand. She would be ecstatic if everyone would just, you know, be silent. Not talk about her, not talk about the things that she did terrible. That's the thing. Is that she basically came out a couple of years ago, wrote the op-ed for the Washington Post, and said, I'm the victim. Poor me, poor me. Okay? She didn't actually think about how people would view her anymore. She thought that everyone would view her in this nice, positive way. Oh, she's this great, amazing person. She's a victim. She went through so much. She didn't realize that she would also be criticized. She would also be looked at by the public besides, oh, she's a victim. But it says Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are still fighting out the defamation suit and countersuit in Virginia, and things have amped up in recent weeks, with depositions requested and taken and more. Yet recent reports indicate Amber Heard's legal team has tried to get the US-based lawsuit dismissed, arguing that the findings in the UK libel suit should be adopted. As for Johnny Depp's lawyer, he's calling it a Hail Mary. Amber Heard's legal team has found every way to cheat the system, work around the system. I mean, if you look at the libel suit with Johnny Depp versus The Sun, the judge that was part of that literally said, oh, poor Amber Heard, she is a victim. And they basically just continuously shit on Johnny Depp. They didn't listen to, like, anything that Johnny Depp said. They completely sided with The Sun and Amber Heard. And he said it was very brave of Amber Heard to come out and speak her truth. They didn't at all acknowledge the fact that Johnny Depp went through abuse during his marriage. You know, she cut off his fingertip, but no. She got his career ruined? No. We can't mention any of that because he's a male and she's a female. And what a female says is instantly, apparently, more believable than what a male says. I'm all for believe women with evidence. You can't believe anyone at face value. You have to see evidence. You have to see facts. Then you can believe them. It says recently Amber Heard's legal team filed a motion to stay discovery on the defamation claims, and also, oh my gosh, I always trip out over this word. Memorandum. I always trip over that word, in support of her motion for leave. Her team believes that due to the libel case results, which were found in favor of The Sun after the outlet called Johnny Depp a wife beater, that the judgment rendered should be applicable in the US as well. This isn't going to happen. Okay, yes, clearly everyone wants to look at all the evidence. Everyone wants to look at all of the information at hand. But the way that the US does things and the way that the UK do things are very different, especially when it comes to libel cases. In the United States, it is much more difficult to find people liable for slander. You know, saying, oh, someone slandered me is very different. And the way, like I've mentioned in my previous videos, the way that this case was handled in the UK, I do genuinely believe the results would have been maybe slightly different in the US. I don't know. Maybe they did clearly take into consideration Johnny Depp's side of the story. But from everything we saw from the outside looking in, it genuinely looked like they didn't listen to anything that Johnny Depp was saying. They didn't give a singular fuck about anything that Johnny Depp was giving them. They only cared about Amber Heard and her proving her case, basically. But it says, with the finality of the judgment rendered after Mr. Depp presented his best evidence and arguments on the exact same factual issues assessed here, Mr. Depp should be precluded from seeking yet another bite of the apple, where he has fully adjudicated his dispute and lost. Because of the UK judgment, the entire world may now say forever that Mr. Depp is a wife beater and has committed at least 12 acts of domestic violence against Amber Heard, causing her to be in fear for her life. In short, the UK judgment, now final, permits this court to end litigation. This is definitely, in my opinion, a Hail Mary. They are trying to say, you know what? He lost. He's provided as much evidence as he has, so why should we have to go through this, basically? Why should Amber Heard have to go through this terrible process again? Because they don't know if he has any other information. They don't know if he has any other evidence. It's reasonable to say he probably did submit all the evidence he had at the time because he wanted to win. He didn't want to lose that libel case. But at the same time, you genuinely don't know because this has been going on for a very long time now. We're not just talking about a case that's gone on 2 months, 3 months. But it says, according to Johnny Depp's lawyer, Benjamin Chu, however, this is not the first time Amber Heard's legal team has tried to get the $50 million defamation lawsuit dismissed. She's tried multiple times. They want to get this dropped. They don't want to have to go through a legitimate situation where everything is looked at, everything is scrutinized. No, they want this to be over as quickly as possible. It says, he noted that this is just the latest Hail Mary from Amber Heard's legal team, and that her team has tried to get the defamation lawsuit thrown out over 3 times over the past 2 years. It literally sounds like every time they get denied, they just resubmit it, basically. That's what it sounds like to me, is that every time it's declined, no, you have to go through the process. They just resubmit it like, oh, well, he lost this, or this happened, so we shouldn't have to go through all of this. It says Depp's team believes Amber Heard's op-ed in the Washington Post was, that cost the actor work. This is very true. I mean, it has. We can see. I mean, companies like Disney fired Johnny Depp because they literally said that they didn't want to be affiliated with him anymore because of Amber Heard's, op-ed in the Washington Post. Are they UK citizens? I never understood why the libel case was tried in the UK. Yes, that's where the Sun is. That is why. Because it was Johnny Depp suing the Sun. And the Sun is based in the UK. That's why. And because they were trying to figure out basically if he was a wife beater. That's why Amber Heard was dragged into it. Because they had to find all of the evidence that basically the Sun was given by Amber Heard as to why they would label him a wife beater. So that's why it was in the UK. And that's why Amber Heard was part of it. It says the cases seem to be moving forward in Virginia, but they have been costly, with deposition requests and more coming from both sides. Amber Heard has been looking into Disney and what the company knew about Johnny Depp's actions and behaviors during his time on the Pirates of the Caribbean films. For his part, Depp has asserted Amber Heard has lied on several occasions, including saying she would give their divorce settlement to charity. But she hasn't yet. This is so hilarious to me that Amber Heard keeps getting caught in lies. She keeps being called out for everything. She says she's gonna do something, and then she doesn't do it. She says one thing isn't true, yet it is true. She says that something isn't true, and it is true. I mean, she cannot keep a story straight. Her case has been falling apart. But of course, she was right when there was a voice recording. I don't exactly remember when it was from. It was before they officially announced their divorce. But there was a recording of her saying, I can get away with anything in a court of law because everyone will automatically believe me over you because I am a woman. She has used her gender to her advantage. And it's worked, unfortunately. I wish that it wasn't this way. I wish that everyone could have a fair trial. And hey, if they can prove that she never did anything in their relationship, then okay. But that hasn't been the case. She has been called out on a lot of things. There's been video evidence, voice evidence of her doing very shitty things to him. And of course, she's just getting away with everything. It says Heard's lawyer did manage to file an amended defense. The two celebrities are expected to return to court in July for a hearing. I don't think we're going to hear any more news on this situation until probably mid-July, the end of July, when this actually happens. I mean, I can't believe it. We're halfway through the year. We're already almost to July. But there's nothing else to really discuss when it comes to this topic. Of course, like I have been over the past year, probably, I will keep you all updated with the situation when there's more information regarding it. But I don't think it's going to get dismissed. I don't think that it's going to get thrown out. They've tried 3 times so far. I think that it would have happened already if it was going to happen. Maybe it will happen. Who knows? But as of right now, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that we're definitely going to see this battle be a long and hard, drawn-out battle. But I don't support Amber Heard. Unfortunately, she was a really shitty person in the relationship. And I'm not saying that Johnny Depp was fully innocent either, because he definitely did things that cause more issues in their relationship. He wasn't some clean-cut, amazing person who acted like a saint. No. You can't expect everyone to act perfect, though. But we're talking about a woman who chopped off his fingertip and got his career ruined and got him canceled. And someone who uses her gender to her advantage to skirt the law and get away with everything that she does that's wrong. So with that being said, lawsuit from Amber Heard incoming. I don't know her personally, so maybe she's a great, lovely, wonderful person, RL. I'll keep telling myself that. We're going to move on to the next topic in a minute. It's a Collider article. Guys, I usually don't like Collider. Most of their articles are really trash. I really don't like them, but this article is decent. This article doesn't have anything in it that would make me go, this is a very bad article. It's a legitimate article that raises good questions that people need to be asking. That's why I'm using it. Please don't hate me. Thank you. I appreciate you all being here. When are they gonna reboot Little Women with an all-male cast? Hey, you can't have women without men. Okay, I'll stop. Please be done with Amber Heard. It's too bad. She's a crazy woman. She didn't do a terrible job as, like, Mara. She's very mediocre. She's replaceable. I'm just gonna be honest, guys. She was replaceable. And she was in, Amber Heard was in, The Stand. The Stand was good. Well, obviously, the new version of The Stand. That was good. The 2021, it was good. But her as Nadine was like, okay, any blonde-haired bimbo that acts like she could be obsessed with a guy could have been Nadine. That's my thing with Amber Heard, is I feel like she's a very mediocre actress. I feel like she could easily be replaced in every role she's ever been in. And I'm not saying that, like, that means she shouldn't be in the industry, but the thing is that she's gotten someone else kicked out of the industry for accusations without providing evidence, and she's done terrible things too. Things that people would argue are worse than Johnny Depp did to her, so should she be in the industry? Well, I'm not gonna sit here and cancel her, but I know a lot of people view it that way, and I understand why. Depp is 100% not replaceable. I think that Johnny Depp brings a lot to the industry that really no one else does. I think that he's been in some roles that, wow, I didn't like those movies, or I didn't like how he played the character, but I do genuinely think that Johnny Depp is an actor that is not 100% replaceable. I think that he definitely adds a unique spin to every character he plays, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but I think a lot of the times it does work out. Like, Captain Jack Sparrow, he is the one and only. He's been in things that I couldn't imagine anyone else being in. And it would be a shame if he was to just disappear from the industry completely, because even though he's not, like, my favorite actor, he is unique in a lot of ways. That would be sad to see. Would be sad to, I was gonna say see, never see. That's not proper English. It would be sad to never see again in a film. She hasn't been in too much. She's been in, like, Aquaman, and Justice League, obviously. She was in The Stand. She was in some other random movie with the guy from Gossip Girls. He's on You, Netflix's You series. It's like the In-Law. It's not the In-Laws. It's the, what's it called? Well, it's not even popping up on the TV show list, so it must have not been that important to people, I suppose. Nope, do not remember. Don't remember the name of it. She's been in some stuff, though. She has been. Yeah, I don't, like, a lot of the things that she's been in, if you look at her bio, which she hasn't been in much, The Rum Diary as well. I like The Rum Diary. Of course, go figure. She hasn't been in, like, a ton of stuff. She's been in a couple of things. But she's only been in, like, very few things where she's a lead character or a lead role. She's replaceable. We'll leave it at that. Alright, guys. So let's move into the next topic of the evening, which is going to be MGM. Now, we've seen a lot of large acquisitions lately. We've seen a lot of big companies purchasing smaller companies, studios. And now we have yet another acquisition because it's official. Amazon is buying MGM for $8.45 billion. But what does this mean for Bond? This is probably the #1 question that everyone has, and rightfully so. MGM really isn't as big as you'd initially think that it is. This is not going to be a death blow to anyone. But it says just as AT&T is offloading Warner Media, which I talked about last week, a new conglomerate is taking shape. Rumors have swirled for a while now that Amazon was looking to buy MGM, and this morning those rumors were made official with an announcement that Amazon will indeed acquire MGM for $8.45 billion. That is a pretty penny or two. That means that Amazon will now be in control of the James Bond franchise, which could have major repercussions for one of the longest running and most iconic movie franchises of all time. Now, like I said, this isn't going to be a death blow for anyone. Their franchises really haven't done shit in years. I'm just going to be honest. We're going to read the list in a minute, but there's only a few here that in the past couple of years have actually done anything big, legitimate. And the one killer franchise that they've got, James Bond, it doesn't sound like they've got full control over it. It's the same size purchase as Microsoft with Bethesda, but at least in Microsoft's case, they've got complete control over all of Bethesda's assets. We all criticize that it was a lot of money for Microsoft to spend on Bethesda, but video gaming is a larger industry and it makes more money than movies do. I feel much more confident in the Bethesda-Microsoft situation than I do in this Amazon-MGM situation. But it says MGM has a vast catalog with more than 4,000 films: 12 Angry Men, Basic Instinct, Creed, James Bond, Legally Blonde, Moonstruck, Poltergeist, Raging Bull, RoboCop, Rocky, Silence of the Lambs, Stargate, Tomb Raider, Pink Panther, and many other icons, as well as 17,000 TV shows, including Fargo, The Handmaid's Tale, Viking, that have collectively won more than 180 Academy Awards and 100 Emmys. It says, the real financial value behind this deal is the treasure trove of IP in the deep catalog that we plan to reimagine and develop together with MGM's talented team. I feel like on the movie side of things, the #1 issue that we have to worry about truly, genuinely, is James Bond. I mean, with films, James Bond, Stargate, I know a lot of people care about. I have something to talk about with that in a minute. Creed, obviously. But a lot of the other films, it's like, okay, we know that there's a Tomb Raider sequel coming out relatively sometime, maybe soon, who knows. We know that it's in the works. But when it comes to the TV side of things, I think that that's where it gets more, I kind of want to say serious, because you do have things like Fargo, The Handmaid's Tale, which all are projects affiliated with a bunch of streaming services. We don't know what the streaming rights for something like James Bond is going to be right now, or be after this. There's 2 James Bond movies on Netflix, there's 2 on Hulu, some Stargate's on Hulu, and a big thing here is like Fargo. It's an exclusive. The Handmaid's Tale is a Hulu exclusive, but we're seeing something similar happen again in the gaming industry. We're seeing companies buy up developer studios. In this case, we're gonna keep seeing companies like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon buy more movie studios. We don't know how this is gonna work. We have really no idea, but I think the #1 question for everyone truly is, what does this mean for James Bond? So it says, the future of the Bond franchise is now in Amazon's hands, and the studio could very well bring us TV spin-offs of the series, either focused on Bond himself or on other characters of the franchise. I would like to see, genuinely, I would like to see, this is probably, I'm gonna regret saying this one day. I am gonna clip this. I'm gonna regret saying this one day. I would like to see some kind of Bond spin-off on TV. Please don't hate me. I like James Bond a lot. I think the franchise has been great. Yeah, there's been movies in there that are like, okay, well, I don't know how to feel about that, but I think that overall they've been pretty decent. I'm gonna regret saying that. But it says, after all, Amazon dropped $500 million to make a Lord of the Rings TV series, which is currently in production, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that they view Bond as a lucrative TV opportunity. I definitely think they do. Thank you, Christopher, for the $15 donation. Much appreciated. I do think that they do view Bond as a lucrative TV opportunity. I mean, again, it points out, they did drop $500 million on a Lord of the Rings TV series, which is probably going to turn out like absolute garbage. But they're just looking to the future. They're looking for ways to make more money, to get more properties, because we are seeing this giant streaming war going on right now. It says Amazon's history in the film businesses has been interesting to say the least. Their first films got robust theatrical releases well before they ended up on the streaming service, and Amazon seemed focused on making interesting, critically acclaimed films like Manchester by the Sea, The Handmaiden, and The Lost City of Z. Let me just take a snooze real quick. Recently, however, Amazon's focus has shifted to making more commercial films like Late Night, Borat, One Night in Miami, and then, of course, the Oscar-winning Sound of Metal. A lot of names, not a lot of substance, in my opinion. That's where I feel like that number sounds giant, because, yeah, they're saying like 17,000 different TVs, franchises, and more than 4,000 films, but so much of this just is like, okay, and your point is? It says, but over the last few months, Amazon has been making a habit of picking up blockbusters offloaded by Paramount, like Coming to America, Without Remorse, and then Chris Pratt's sci-fi movie, The Tomorrow War, which I hope turns out decent. Acquiring MGM now gives Amazon even more storied IP to play with, and it'll be interesting what kinds of franchises they prioritize once it closes. Could a new adaptation of Silence of the Lambs be the offing? No! Please don't! Please don't. Please don't fuck up any more stuff, especially something like Silence of the Lambs. I want to be hopeful, okay, guys? I want to sit here and be like, yeah, let's be hopeful. Let's give this a big thumbs up, because this could turn out very well, okay? I genuinely hope that the Lord of the Rings TV series that they're spending $500 million freaking dollars on will be good. I hope that it will be amazing. But they've lost 4 lead actors so far. They've lost 2 writers. There's rumors that they're gonna lose a 3rd writer. There's rumors that the story for it's gonna be awful. We see the direction that Amazon wants to go in. And I really hope that this turns out to be great and good. Tomorrow War looks kind of dumb. Yeah, it looks like nothing new. Looks like a knockoff of a bunch of things. I still want to be hopeful for it, because Chris Pratt, in my opinion, is a really good actor. But there's a lot of hope here, but not a lot to back up that hope, at least in my opinion. It says, we'll no doubt find out more in the coming days and months, but for now, this is yet another example of big media companies combining forces to try and maintain a hold on the increasingly crowded marketplace. The streaming war has become really intense. I think we can all recognize that. There's so many different services now, and we haven't even seen, like, cable companies jump into this. We haven't seen a Verizon or a Comcast jump into this yet. We don't know what this is going to mean for Bond, because there's a lot in the air right now. This is the one killer franchise I'd say that they've got their hands on now, and it doesn't sound like they've got full control over it. You know, we don't know what the streaming rights are going to be. Some of James Bond is on Netflix, some of it's on Hulu. We're going to see maybe a shakeup with things like The Handmaid's Tale, Fargo. We have no clue right now, but I hope that this is positive. I walk into situations usually saying this. I hope that this turns out good. I hope that this turns out to be amazing for Amazon, MGM. I hope that us as fans, we get great content out of this. But this is worrying because there are so many different franchises they could revive just to turn them woke, turn them to trash, and then leave them in the gutter. There are. We could see Stargate be picked up. Them do a project with it. It be turned to trash. Silence of the Lambs. It be picked up. Turned to trash. Tomb Raider, well, we'll see. We'll see. Fargo, The Handmaid's Tale. We could see a ton of spin-offs of these franchises and them turn out like garbage. So we'll have to see what this means for the future. We're going to leave the discussion there, but when we have more solid information or there's more rumors, I'll definitely be talking about this again. Just like I talked about the AT&T Warner Media situation. If there's any other news with this, I will let you all know. With that being said, we're going to move into laughing at game journalists. Orc Lives Matter confronts Elven privilege. Yes, Orc Lives Matter. That's it. Orcs. So controversial. 007. Oi, you got a license to kill? The concept of Tomorrow War is intriguing, but there's gotta be a twist. Oh my lord. I'm gonna rant, okay? Give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna rant about Chaos Walking, okay? Start a timer in 5 seconds. I'm gonna rant about Chaos Walking. Spoiler alert. The movie was so fucking bad. Holy shit, there was no twist. It's an alien movie where you see one alien in the whole goddamn movie. It was so bad. I had hopes for this movie, okay? I thought this is a star-studded cast. Daisy Ridley. I don't like Daisy Ridley. Everything she's in, she's like a Gerard Butler. Everything she's in turns to trash. Tom Holland, good actor. You had Mads Mikkelsen, another good actor. There was another actor in there as well. I don't remember who it was that was decent. This was a cast that could have made this movie very good, but you could see 5 minutes into the movie where it was all going. There was no twist, okay? I'm not going to give you full story details, but all I'm going to say is it's a movie about a planet that's crazy. You hear talk about aliens, and you hear talk about this planet and this planet's dark secret. You could tell what the dark secret was 20 minutes into the movie. And it's an alien movie with one alien. You see one. And it's not even described nothing is described about these aliens either. The planet's dark history and dark secret and dark past is predictable 20 minutes into the movie. Chaos Walking was genuinely fucking chaos walking. It's a walking simulator. It is. Why is everything Mads Mikkelsen in a walking simulator? I don't understand. It was bad. It was so trash. That was... It's so disappointing on so many levels. Who thought that was gonna be good? Oh my gosh. Okay. Spoiler rant is over. Chaos Walking was genuinely chaos. And not in a good way. Chaos, walk the other way. Don't waste your 3 hours on it. Anytime you hear reimagining IPs, it's never good. Very true. Very true. Ugh. I don't want to get started on Chaos Walking. I never agree with critic scores, okay? Never have I ever. But if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, the Rotten Tomatoes score is a 71% audience score and a 22% reviewer. I agree with reviewers. Write this down. On May 31st, 2021, Vera actually agreed with the reviewer score. Tell us how you really feel. It was dog shit. It was so bad. I don't want to lose any more brain cells, but it was bad. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you for coming to my Titan Talk. Donate with the links below. Support my profession with the links below. I'm late in the live, but yeah, movies in 2021, it's been a slow go. It really has been. It has been, which we knew was gonna happen. Gosh. Torrents. I really couldn't have high hopes for the movie when the premise was men's thoughts were broadcasted, the women are all dead, and then Daisy Ridley shows up. Well, I mean, I liked the idea of people's thoughts being broadcasted. The whole women aspect of it was... That's the dark twist. I'm not gonna spoil it. It was bad. A twist, sure. You're no fucking M. Night Shyamalan. Even when he does a twist and it's bad, it's still a twist. Where the hell is the new Dune at? The new Dune is going to be shown at the Venice Film Festival on September 1st. We got that information the other day. The Dune is going to be at the Venice Film Festival. Dune release date. Yeah. Which is September 1st, and Dune says October 1st for everywhere else. October 1st, 2021. I think they're genuinely trying to build up as much hype around Dune as they possibly can. I think that they're scrambling to figure out how to make it work and how... Grim in chat with spoilers. Wow, Grim. Grim didn't like it either, I don't think. I mean, I think that Grim had higher, what can I say? Like, he thought higher of it. I think Grim liked it a little bit more than I did. I don't know. Chaos walking. It was genuinely pure chaos. It was bad. I have no excitement for E3. I actually have quite a bit of excitement for E3. I will be streaming some of the E3 events. E3 goes on from June 12th to the 15th. I'm going to be streaming large happenings at E3, like the Microsoft Bethesda presentation, Nintendo. I'm going to stream the indie event as well. I don't know what else I'll be streaming. I'm not going to stream some of the smaller stuff, but I am going to stream a little bit of E3. M. Night Shyamalan isn't even that good, to be honest. We're going to move on to the last topic. I mean, there's two more topics. The next topic in just a minute. This one's going to be really quick. But M. Night Shyamalan's got a new movie coming out called Old. And it actually looks interesting. I mean, I usually am interested in a lot of what M. Night Shyamalan does. Now, is the execution good? Sometimes no. But it's a thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they're relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. They get stuck in some kind of cove. Comes out in July. It might be bad. But that, to me, doesn't sound bad. It's based on a book. I'm interested. At least we're hearing ideas that are slightly fascinating. Yeah, Timothée Chalamet is... you know, I think it's around my age group that everyone is head over heels for him. He is such a soy boy. I think it's like my age group, which I'm a little sad to have to say. Thank you, Todd, for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. He's also gonna be the next Willy Wonka. No, for me. That's a no from me, dog. He's the next Willy Wonka. He's Paul Atreides. He was in, like, Little Women. He was also in The King. Guys, I'm sorry, okay? The King, which also had Lily Rose Depp. The King, which, oh my god, when I thought of Lily Rose Depp, I thought of that movie Voyagers that came out a couple weeks ago. No, that was not good. The King just wasn't it. The King was, it was like a... The King, I feel like the killer for me was Robert Pattinson's accent. I genuinely think that that's why I didn't get into the movie. It was so slow and drawn out. The King was probably like a 65% from me. Everyone was like, this is amazing. This is the shit. And everyone was hyping up the king, and I was just watching it, and I'm like, what is so good about this? We've got Robert Pattinson with his shitty little haha oui croissant accent. He was very bad at it, which is understandable because he's a stuck-up prick and was like, I'm not doing voice acting lessons. I know how to voice act. I know how to do accents. And Timothée Chalamet, he was alright. Again, he played a stuck-up brat. Like, I feel like the ending was better, but I feel like it was so slow and drawn out. And oh my god, I gotta screw this girl. And then I gotta put my shoes on. And oh my gosh, there's some news from the king, my father. Oh, I have to go see him in his castle over the walls and over the border. And I need to go and walk to see him. And then he's sitting on a throne. And then we're gonna have a very perplexing, complex argument. And then I'm gonna walk away because I'm mad. And it's like, we get it. Do we need scenes of you walking into the castle through the village for 5 minutes? We understand you have to go from point A to point B. I understand, bro. It's a hard life in medieval times. You have to walk from your little shit shack to in front of your father. That's hard. But do we need 5 minutes, a whole scene, from you walking from point A to point B? It was very, very drawn out. Say no to soy boys. That's the end of the argument. Why is he going to be the next Wonka? I don't have an answer. Oh. Boy. Rough. Alright, you guys. Let's move on to the next topic of the evening. This one's going to be relatively quick. I don't want to rant about Timothée Chalamet, because then I'm just going to get into this negative space of, he's Paul Atreides, he's going to fuck everything up, he's such a soy boy, I do not like him. But I don't want to be that. I want to be positive about Dune. I want to be positive. I don't know if positivity around Dune is a thing anyone does anymore. Yeah, Gene Wilder nailed it. I don't think that Depp did bad either. It was weird. It was weird. But I have a feeling with Willy Wonka. One more thing before we get to the next topic. I have a feeling with Wonka it's going to be the same as Star Wars. Okay, Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is going to be the original trilogy. It's going to be the bread and butter. It's going to be the amazing piece of everything that you remember. And then, when was 2005? And then the 2005 Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is gonna be like, you know, the prequels, they're not bad, they're not amazing, they're like okay. But then we're gonna get Timothée Chalamet sequel trilogy, and we're gonna be like, holy shit, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is so much better. Our appreciation is so much higher. We'll have to see, but I think it's gonna be another Star Wars situation. The Wilder Wonka was better, but Depp was closer to the book. Very true. I have a feeling it's gonna be like a Star Wars all over again. You've got the amazing bread and butter, chef's kiss, give that all to me. Then you're gonna have the Johnny Depp one where it's like, you know, it's not great, it's not terrible. But then the Timothée Chalamet one's gonna come out and you're gonna be like, give me all the other ones. I do not want this new one. We'll see. I don't know though. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next topic of the evening before I continue to rant about shitty movies and shitty actors and shitty Hollywood. Now, I love to laugh at game journalists. There are a few journalists out there in the gaming industry who are genuinely good at their job. They care about the industry. They want to see it be healthier. They call out BS. They prop up companies that deserve it. But a lot of game journalists and organizations don't care. They care about pushing their agenda. They care about what they see as being progressive and forward and with the times. They don't care about gamers. They attack the very people who they expect to read their articles. And now, a satirical article taking a jab at mainstream video games press causes legitimate outrage among mainstream video game journalists. I think that it is hilarious that this is happening because they are genuinely pissed off at jokes, at people coming up with jokes to shit on them. And they're so mad at it. They're mad over comedy. So it's a satirical, a comedic article, which makes, of course, fun of the worst habits of mainstream video game press, has deeply offended a number of video game journalists, many of whom believes its publication to be unwarranted, an unwarranted attack on their esteemed profession. Video game journalists are truly another breed, okay? Not that problems with journalists aren't beyond gaming. They are. The entire journalism profession is in the tank. I think we can all agree with that. But game journalists are an exceptional breed because it's like they don't even know what their job entails. Game journalists have an awful reputation for a reason. And this is another reason to add to the pot of why people laugh at game journalists. So it says the outrage began when Hard Drive, a satirical news site in the vein of The Onion or the Babylon Bee, which I think are hilarious, whose content focuses exclusively on video games, tweeted a link to their article. I think this is hilarious. Hard Drive. IGN writer excited to start playing game he just finished reviewing. Look at the picture of the genuine soy on that guy's face in the thumbnail picture. He's writing shit down. He's laughing. He's having a good old time. I think that this is hilarious. IGN writer excited to start playing game he just finished reviewing. Because we hear journalists doing things like, oh, it's okay that as a journalist, I didn't finish a game before reviewing it because I got a taste of what the game really was. I mean, they say things that are so unbelievable, yet they're true. It says, such habits included plagiarism, professional critics' growing inability to finish games before reviewing them, and how readers will gloss over a reviewer's writing to get to the score and forget about it entirely a few minutes later. You can't blame people for just doing that, though, because people do that. Journalists get mad that viewers and readers don't read every single piece of information they put into an article. When you're writing an article the size of a book, yeah, people are just going to skim it. They just want to know the TLDR. But it says, I could probably write anything I want in there because nobody is really going to read it, a fictitious reviewer presented as the subject of the article. I basically have a bachelor's degree in garbage. Oh my god, I think I've made a huge mistake. Clearly hitting too close to home for many, the article sharing as part of nothing more than routine instance of content promotion soon led to the Hard Times being inundated with a storm of outraged tweets from real-world members of the video games press who felt that their piece of writing was an outright harassment and attack campaign against their profession. Call the Gamergaters. Gamergate did this. I know it. Oh my gosh, those fucking Gamergaters. You toxic pieces of garbage. Oh, you just sent Gamergate after me. I mean, we haven't seen anyone yet, at least. There's probably someone out there who cried Gamergate. But of course, they're saying, oh my gosh, there's this group of people making fun of me and my profession. It's a harassment campaign. It is an attack campaign against me, my personal beliefs, and my profession. So, of course, it says, the IGN director of editorial video, Zachary Ryan, said, I realize this is likely just standard weekend re-promo, but the timing is bad and the message is worse. I'm typically a fan of your IGN goofs, but please consider taking this down. This is hurtful to a lot of hardworking folks. You know what's hurtful is when... I don't want to go too ham on these game journalists. You know what's hurtful is when your piece of shit writers attack the very people they expect to read their pieces. You, IGN, have had people attack readers, attack gamers for multiple different things, various different things. Yet, I don't see you taking down your articles that insult people. You know, you might have said something a couple months ago that really hurt my feelings. Why haven't you taken it down? Why haven't you done that? You are hurtful to a lot of hardworking people. I mean, come on. Someone said, y'all rarely miss, but this is a big miss. Yikes. I don't think you realize the damage a goof like this does. Reviewers and creators have it hard enough dealing with clowns in the comments, just making our jobs harder, why don't ya? You are on social media. You are in the public eye. You deserve criticism. You deserve to have fun thrown your way. Yeah, sometimes people, you know, get very rude very quickly. They blow situations out of proportion. But he specifically says clowns in the comments. Who cares if there's clowns in the comments? They're giving you a view. They're giving you a comment. They're giving you interaction that you crave, that you need to be successful. An IGN former writer said this ain't it at a time where it is a very specific dig, but bringing this out in 2021 just perpetuates a harmful view of critics, and with all of this stuff going on at IGN, it especially feels inappropriate. It's a joke. It's fiction. We're talking at the essence about it, about fictional characters doing fictional things. Okay, someone making fun of you going out and writing an article about fictional characters and fictional situations, it really doesn't hurt anyone. It just perpetuates a harmful view of critics, they say. Maybe critics should actually understand the audiences they're writing for. Movie critics, game critics, quote-unquote journalism, boys. It says, if games journalism ceased to exist tomorrow, 3 things would happen. This is a stretch for me. The number of new studios would fall. If game journalism ceased to exist tomorrow, I do not think the number of new studios would fall at all. I don't know how they came to that at all. It says the number of paid influencer campaigns would rise and the cost of making games would increase due to needing a significantly larger ad spend. Do they reiterate on that point? Do they give any other details as to how they think they could end up there? No, they don't. I mean, they're trying to come up with arguments as to why game journalism is important. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? Because I feel like that is kind of a stretch. Of course, CG Magazine Online contributor, girl from Canada, I've talked about her before during the Mass Effect Legendary Edition situation. She was basically shitting on people who were saying censorship isn't okay. She said, this is in poor taste and bad timing. I know this is supposed to be funny, but it's not right now. Game journalists deal with so much hate/harassment, and this just, of course, makes it worse. It helps the stereotypes continue. Game journalists don't play games, they're paid off. I have critics. Okay, if you go to my comment sections, I have videos with hundreds of dislikes, thousands of dislikes. I don't go around saying they're all starting harassment campaigns against me, and it's not funny and they shouldn't be commenting it. When you make dumb comments on social media and say things that people disagree with, you're going to get backlash for it. You're going to get people who aren't happy with you, people who do criticize you. You all have created your own image. Okay, we haven't created that image. As consumers, people would argue that I'm a game journalist because, you know, I do a lot of research. I talk about a lot of topics. If you think I'm a journalist, how do you rate my journalism skills on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you think I'm a good journalist? Haha, my journalism. You guys have created an image for yourselves, you know? You have writers who have admitted that they haven't played a full game before reviewing it. You have writers and journalists in this industry who have admitted, oh, hey, I was paid off to do this review. I got paid to give it a good review. Yes, some journalists and organizations are better/worse than others, but it has happened. And that's why some of you guys have a very bad reputation, but that's all that I had to discuss with that. Absolutely hilarious that they are legitimately outraged about satire. I truly can't believe it. Like, I understand you guys might be a little hurt, a little offended that someone wrote a little piece about you, making fun of you. But you just have to suck it up sometimes. I mean, it's not that serious. It was a joke. And it's a joke clearly a lot of people thought was freaking hilarious. With that being said, we're going to move into the next topic and the last topic in just a minute, which is the Switch Pro. The Super Nintendo Ultimate Mega Switch Pro Deluxe Lite Mini Ultra Omega Beta Delta Alpha. Sounds pretty cool. Really quickly, if you're enjoying the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. We're at 76 likes. Can some of you guys give the stream a like? I would appreciate it. If you're enjoying, check out the links in the description. Please consider donating via Streamlabs. Consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. Follow me on social media. Join our Discord. We're very active there. Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey. There are so many links in the description. I have a backup Twitch as well that's down there. Check out the links. Click them all. See if there's anything fun and shiny that you'd be interested in. Guys, it's hard being a game journalist out here. If you could just donate $1 to the Sad Game Journalist Fund, I would really appreciate it. Okay, well, I tried. I'm sorry, I'm not a good show. This is why I don't work for an IGN or a GameSpot or hell, a GameStop. It's hard being a female out here with all of these sexist, bigoted companies. Oh, a donation. Shiny. Thank you, Oron. Where is the text-to-speech? I'm gonna play it again. Text-to-speech. Do it. Activate. Text-to-speech. Activate.
Oronx
Thank
donated $26.
Thank you.
Doing more than just considering donating.
I appreciate the $26 donation. I know it wasn't a very special message, but I wanted it to work. So I just clicked it a bunch of times, and hey, it worked. I'm a professional video game journalist, guys. Please never forget that. That is not the reputation I want. In this post-Gamergate world, it's hard to be a female in a male-dominated industry. I feel very excluded from a lot of the shit, what do I say? I feel very excluded from a lot of the groups online because they're so male-dominated. In this post-Gamergate world, it is very difficult to start from the ground up. So if you could go ahead and smash the like button and consider donating.
H donated $4.
Oh, it's kind of working.
15. Vara,
$4.
Hilarious. Lol.
Why does it say that? I would appreciate it because it's 2021 and being a female is very difficult. Especially when you've got awful, terrible outlets like Hard Drive over here. We could spin that name to be sexist, write it down. When we have these awful, terrible sites making fun of our very important, esteemed profession. I love how it's on the front, it's just Abby smashing Ellie against the wall. I like the choice of thumbnail. Thank you so much, Roger, for the $4.15 donation. Thank you. Gosh, it's hard. It's rough being a woman these days, guys, in this post-Gamergate world. It's rough. Alright, everyone, let's move on to the final topic of the night. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, we've heard a lot of rumors over the past year about a Nintendo Switch Pro, and I think it's pretty obvious that all of us could come to the conclusion that eventually, yes, there will be an upgraded Nintendo Switch model. We have the Switch base version, we have the Switch Lite it's pretty obvious, put 2 and 2 together to equal 17, that a Nintendo Switch Pro or an upgraded Pro model would eventually come out. But we've been hearing over the past week a ton of rumors that it's going to be announced very soon, before E3. Apparently, it's going to have some very fascinating details, a 7-inch screen, 4K ready system, but there is a new rumor coming out today that the Nintendo Switch Pro reveal date potentially disclosed by Insider that it is going to be announced this Thursday. You heard me? If you're here live, it's going to be announced in just a couple of days. So it says Nintendo Switch Pro could be announced at before E3 report. Nintendo will reportedly reveal the new 7-inch 4K ready system very soon, then let developers announce games for it at E3 2021. Original unit may be phased out. I'd like to start off this conversation with saying I'd buy it. Nintendo has done a lot of bad things over the years. You know, many years ago they did bad things. Now they're doing things that a lot of people wouldn't support. But they've overall done a lot of good things. And I genuinely think that the Nintendo Switch, my Switch is right next to me, it's right here. I genuinely think that the Nintendo Switch is a good console. It has been, personally, right now, my favorite console. It has been for like a year. Not counting PC, because PC is master race. It provides a lot of entertainment for me and a lot of other people too. I would buy this if Nintendo comes out with it, but I have a very bad feeling about this potential release. So it says the long-rumored Nintendo Switch Pro will, according to a new report, finally be revealed in the near future and release this year. We're halfway through the year. This year, guys. And the announcement could be coming ahead of E3 2021. The upgraded Switch will reportedly offer 4K support and come equipped with a 7-inch OLED screen, and it will sell for more than the $300 price tag of the standard system. We've heard that they're going to go with the 7-inch OLED screen for quite a while. We've heard that there is potentially going to be 4K support for the new Switch Pro. I think that that'd be the most obvious upgrade that people would want. And it says it would be more than the $300 price tag of the standard system. Again, pretty easy to figure out. If they're coming out with a Pro version compared to their base version, it's going to be more expensive than the base version. 2 plus 2 equals 22. It says this information comes from sources speaking anonymously to Bloomberg and a Jason Schreier, and then corroborated by Eurogamer's own unnamed sources. I'd like to point out that this is a rumor. This is not confirmed. And the thing is that over the past year, we've been hearing tons of rumors about a Switch Pro. We've been hearing information that a Switch Pro is going to be announced finally. It's coming out. It's got 4K. All of this information is not new. But it's being repeated again by Bloomberg, which a lot of people do believe in Bloomberg. It's Jason freaking Schreier. But it's also being corroborated by other sources like Eurogamer. It says, according to Bloomberg, Nintendo will begin assembling the new Switch model in July and then release it in September or October. I'm going to be honest, guys. I do not think that they can produce enough Switch Pros to be on the market. There have been chip shortages for over a year now. Nvidia's chips are made by TSMC, and they're a company who's been having problems, which is why Nvidia's having a problem with graphics cards right now. We don't know what chip they'll use in this, but it won't be the Tegra 1, so even if it's like a Tegra 2, how is TSMC gonna manufacture enough of these chips for Nvidia to get to Nintendo to build any reasonable amount of these Switches? They need to release millions of these Switches at a launch. They can't just release 500,000 of them. They need like 3 million Switches, 4 million Switches. Can they even produce like 1 million of them? My worry here is that Nintendo is going to actually launch this, that this is legitimate, and they will launch it this year. And because of the shortages, they won't be able to get even close to demand, making it a scalper's paradise. We see now that it is extremely hard to get tech. Graphics cards are difficult right now. You know, PlayStations are difficult, Xboxes are difficult, even Switches out that are out right now, excuse me, are really hard to get. I think that we're gonna run into a situation where Nintendo will legitimately release this year. I kind of want to say I'm confident in sitting here saying they're gonna release it this year, but I'm not. I think that they will release it sometime relatively soon, but I think the problem will be is that they launch it, and because of shortages, they're not going to be able to produce as many that people need, making it, again, a scalper's paradise. I have a theory. Yeah, Oron saying all semiconductors are backed up. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I have a theory right now, you guys, okay? Write this one down. Clip this. I think Nintendo is strapped on time, and I think that Nintendo wants to announce this before E3, because at E3 they are going to release the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, like the official maybe announced date. I think that they want to release Breath of the Wild 2 and the Pro on the same exact day. I think they're up against a timer right now. I think they want to release it the same day, using marketing. Ultimate Zelda fans want to play it with the best quality possible. 4K new game, shiny, shiny. Buy the new Nintendo Switch Pro. Buy Breath of the Wild 2. I think that they want to market them together, because if they're going to announce a Breath of the Wild 2, obviously they'd rather say this is going to be a game that comes out on a system that runs 4K instead of what the base Switch runs. Of course they'd want to do that. Now, then I'd worry about the performance of Breath of the Wild 2 and how it would be on the base Switch if they've optimized it for the Switch Pro with 4K. But besides that tangent that we could go off on, I think that that's what they want to do, is at E3, they want to announce Breath of the Wild 2. They want to be able to say it's going to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch Pro, 4K, amazing graphics, runs amazingly, and I think they're up against a wall because they want to release Breath of the Wild 2, and to do that, they need to release the Switch Pro next to it. I think that they want to release them on the same day. I think they want to make a big deal out of it, make it a big occasion, and Nintendo doesn't need the money. That's the thing, is Nintendo right now doesn't need money. So we're not talking about a company that's like, we have to release it now because we need the funds. We're not talking about a company like that. We're talking about a giant company here. I think that's the problem. That's why we're here. And because it is the worst time to release a new console. They cannot reach demand. You are not telling me they can make 5 to 10 million Switches for a launch date in October and they're starting to produce them in July. You are not going to convince me of that. So I think they really want to push out Breath of the Wild 2, and to do that, they need the Switch Pro. They want to market them together, kind of. It's risky. It's risky. But there is currently another rumor going around because a notable video game industry insider has shared when he believes Nintendo will unveil the rumored new model of the Switch, which many have taken to calling the Nintendo Switch Pro. We've also heard that, haha, maybe the name's going to be the Super Nintendo Switch. Please don't. According to one Nick Baker, who has in recent months established himself as a trustworthy insider, Nintendo is planning to hold some sort of event this Thursday, June 3rd, to formally announce the Nintendo Switch Pro. I think what they're going to do is have like a 15-20 second trailer. Maybe they'll do like a full event and like lead up to it, and at the end, it'll be like, hey, Nintendo Switch Pro. I think that they're going to give a very short teaser of the Nintendo Switch Pro and say, stay tuned and watch our E3 presentation, and that's when they're gonna bang hit us with Breath of the Wild 2, maybe Bayonetta, maybe like remakes of something, you know, all these different big projects, and then the Nintendo Switch Pro. It says at the moment, I'm told the Super Nintendo Switch, direct/mini/announcement is scheduled for Thursday, but it's been pushed before, could be again. This is a big reason why I don't believe leakers or insiders, because they say something like this. Oh, the direct mini announcement is scheduled for Thursday, but it could be moved. I mean, I could literally sit here and say, hey guys, listen to my rumor, okay? In 2 weeks, when the clock strikes 12, okay, on June 16th, when the clock strikes 12, 22:15, if you check this webpage, something magical is going to pop up. But it could be moved. How is that supposed to instill confidence in anyone? I know that they're trying to cover their back, so in case it doesn't get announced, people don't get mad at them and doubt them. But apparently, It's going to be announced this Thursday. We haven't heard anything about an announcement. If there's going to be a Switch Direct or a Nintendo Direct or announcement, anything planned on Thursday, it will be announced tomorrow. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 1st, if something is announced, we'll see. If they say, hey, on Thursday, there's going to be a Direct, a mini, an announcement, be here at this time on a live stream, we're basically going to know that it's about the Switch Pro. But we'll see. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they're worried because a lot of people are genuinely upset right now worrying about them putting out a brand new console when they can't even produce numbers for people to buy them in stores when the consoles have been out for like 2 years, 3 years. So we'll see, guys. That's all that I really had to discuss with the Switch Pro. Apparently, the Switch Pro is going to be announced before E3, reportedly. It's going to be announced on Thursday. It's going to be a 4K-ready system. New 7-inch OLED screen. We'll see. Do I believe it? I believe that at some point Nintendo will come out with a Pro model of the Switch. Absolutely, 100%. I do think that they'll come up with an upgraded version of it. But do I think it's going to release this year and it be announced on Thursday? I'm personally not very convinced, but that's all that I really had to discuss. We talked about the Switch Pro rumors, we talked about games journalists, we talked about Amazon buying MGM, and also the situation with Amber Heard trying to get her lawsuit dismissed yet again. I'm going to read chat for a couple minutes, so if you guys have any questions or comments, put them into the live chat box now. I'd be happy to answer them. If you guys are enjoying the live stream before you head out, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Check out the links in the description. Consider donating via Streamlabs. I appreciate all of the support. Follow me, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey. Join our Discord. We're very active there. And yeah, we're going to wrap up the stream by just chatting for a few minutes. I think it's more plausible that Switch Pro and Breath of the Wild 2 will be released together spring 2022. There hasn't been any previews for Breath of the Wild 2 so far. So last year, we had gotten a very short teaser for Breath of the Wild 2. And I think at E3, we're going to get big trailers. We're actually going to get some gameplay trailers of Breath of the Wild 2. I think that Nintendo's going to go hard at E3 this year. So we'll see when E3 rolls around. But I think at E3, we're going to see a bunch of Breath of the Wild 2 information. But I do agree, Rod, that spring 2022 sounds more plausible than in September or October. I'm not really believing the September-October release date, but I do think that, yes, spring 2022 sounds a bit more realistic. Even if Nintendo wanted them out for Christmas, it just seems like it would be very tight on time. Yeah. I mean, apparently they're going to start producing them in July and then release in September. That, to me, doesn't sound realistic, especially right now with all the shortages going on. I mean, maybe Nintendo has everything together, you know? Maybe for years they've had it together. I mean, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. That they've got all the silicone and shit that they need for millions of units. But we'll see. If something gets announced on Thursday, I will be streaming E3, so hopefully we'll get some juicy details about Breath of the Wild 2 and a Switch Pro at E3. Who knows?
$11.
Thank you for the $11 donation.
More than considering donating again.
Ah, yes. Thank you, thank you. Sheesh. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if a Switch Pro does come out, I genuinely will buy it because I do support Nintendo right now. I think they've done a lot of good. Yes, they've done bad, but every company does a little bit of bad, and I try to give companies a bit of leadway. I have a bad feeling, though, that they will actually try to release it this year. And stock is going to be garbage. 5 to 10 million units in 2 months? Bullshit. That's exactly what I'm saying. They're not telling me they're producing 5 to 10 million units in 2 months. And what would they do? Would they try to release a Switch Pro with like 1 million units? That would be a disaster. Breath of the Wild 2 next year? I could believe that, yeah. I mean, it's rough. No E3 will be as good as E3 2015. That was an awesome event. Oh my gosh, the memories. Which one was E3 2015? E3 2015. Oh, yeah, Uncharted 4. Yeah. Okay, I remember that year. Yeah, that was a good year. Watch Dogs. The Division. Well, you know. I mean... Okay, if you say so. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yep, we got the E3 trailer that year. Oh, The Last Guardian. Guys, The Last Guardian is such a good underrated game. So freaking great. No Man's Sky was, yeah, that was No Man's Sky as well. Oh yeah, and then Taken King. That's right. That was a big year. That is very true. That was a big freaking year. It's hard to remember every single year of E3. It's like, oh, E3 2012, 2013. It's hard to remember, okay, guys? I'm sorry. I don't have a mega AI brain, okay? I want DICE to release news on Battlefield. Oron says, I want DICE to release a Bad Company 3 and not Sucker Bee Battle Royale. True. Battlefield is decent. I don't know if I have any faith in DICE right now, though. We'll see. Maybe it'll turn out well. The only way Nintendo is releasing Switch Pro this September is if they're in bed with the scalpers. I agree. I mean, it's going to be a scalper's freaking dream if they try to release it. But, alright, you guys. I'm going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give the stream a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Check out the links in the description. Please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. If you're in the United States, Patreon's over $10. Do get a Dark Titan postcard. It is all on the Patreon page. At least check it out. Join our Discord. We're very active there. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams. I'm not going to be streaming for a couple days. I'll be streaming towards the end of the week, maybe on Thursday. Friday, I don't know. I don't really like streaming on Fridays. Fridays are really, really iffy. But I'll probably be streaming Thursday, playing some more Subnautica Below Zero. And then over the weekend, I'm not sure if I'm going to be continuing Subnautica. I think I'm going to play Subnautica probably over the weekend and maybe like Sunday or Monday play some Apex, Call of Duty. Maybe find just a filler game. But we'll see what happens. But follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, all that fun stuff. Thank you guys for stopping by, being here. I do really appreciate it. Of course, like always, if you enjoy the Vera After Dark discussion live streams, next Monday I will have another one. And with that being said, thanks for stopping by and have a great night, everyone.